Welcome to a bad recap of Bullet Train, a direct sequel to Inglourious Bastards. The movie opens in a hospital where a father is grieving over his vegetable of a son while watching VeggieTales? Well, that isn't very funny. The grandfather enters and scolds him for being a terrible parent, leading to his son getting pushed off of a roof. Now the father is very upset about this and swears to get revenge on the man who did this. Good luck finding me, I'll never stop. We then meet Brad Pitt's character Ladybug. He's called Ladybug because they're believed to be lucky while he is very unlucky. You see, it's ironic. It's kind of like if my name was Ivory Coast, since that country has the highest tax rate in the world, and I commit tax fraud. Ladybug is a mercenary, but has recently decided to steer away from violence, instead opting for peaceful resolutions. His current task is a simple snatch and grab. Just hop onto the bullet train and steal a briefcase with a train sticker on the handle. He's filling in for another mercenary called Carver, like Toby Carver, since he called in sick because he was sick. Ladybug retrieves some equipment from a locker. He grabs some firecrackers, a knife, and some
sleeping powder.
Oh, it's sleeping powder, pot lame. He also refuses to take a gun because of its lethality, unlike a knife, and gets onto the train. The father from the start of the film also gets on the train. He was given a piece of paper that says, "I pushed him, first class, seat B4. I don't know what kind of amateur leaves a calling card for their tomfoolery, but he makes his way to the seat where he finds a little girl. Oh, sorry, I was looking for You see, this is why I beat up every little girl I see. No, Your Honor, I'm not sexist, I'm just cautious. Also very convenient that none of the first-class passengers heard this. Dickheads. Ladybug very quickly finds the case with the train sticker, not knowing that it belongs to these two, Lemon and Tangerine. They're British. They're also contractors, hired by the White Death to rescue his son and retrieve the briefcase that contains ransom money. Now, the White Death is the most dangerous mafia boss in all of Japan, and also what my wife calls me now that we're divorced. Anyway, Lemon is also a big fan of Thomas the Tank Engine because it's peak. He carries around a sticker pack of various characters so he can label people he meets based on which train they're most similar to. Now, for those of you who had a terrible childhood and didn't watch Thomas the Tank Engine, all you need to know is that diesel trains are evil meanies. Oh, I wonder how they made that decision in the writer's room. Okay, boss, which train should we make the series antagonist? The black one! Lemon goes to check on the briefcase to discover its disappearance, but he thinks it's fine because at least they have the son. So what if they've lost the $10 million? Wait, $10 million? Tangerine then lore dumps the history of Japan's underworld. Basically, a Japanese man rules Japan until a Russian man joins and rises the ranks, becoming the Japanese man's bestest friend. But then one day, Russian man does Russian things and takes control, stabbing the old ruler in the back. Not literally, he blew his head off. Fast forward to present, the Russian's wife is killed by a drunk crasher, not to be confused with a drunk driver, so he no longer leaves his house, which is why he hired Lemon and Tangerine to rescue his son. Basically, in other words, losing 10 million of a depressed psychopath dollars is bad. They start searching for the briefcase, only to discover that it's the funny. Oh, also the son is dead. Back in first class, the father wakes up, and the girl tells him she is a man in the hospital who will game end his son if he doesn't help her. We find out that she saw him hand a briefcase to one of the White Death's associates, which clearly means he's also working for the White Death. Doink. She tells him that if he wants his son to live, he has to kill the White Death.
That's simply not possible.
Why isn't it possible?
It's just not.
Why not, you stupid bastard?
Ladybug is about to leave the train with the briefcase, but gets stopped by the Wolf, a dangerous Mexican gangster whose wife was murdered on their wedding day when someone poisoned the wine. He was told the man responsible would be on the train, so decided to kill the first person he saw. Quite unlucky. They have a big kerfuffle. Ladybug has no idea who he is.
I will ruin your life the way you ruin mine.
Dude, I don't even know you!
Eventually, the wolf throws his knife, but Ladybug uses the briefcase to deflect it right back at him, stabbing him in the heart. He cleans up the mess from the murder, and the next stop tries again to leave the train, but sees Lemon, who is guarding the doors, to make sure whoever stole the case doesn't escape. So he misses the second stop in a row, stashes the case, and calls his handler to explain the situation. He then spots Tangerine down the aisle and decides to hide behind this curtain. No, he doesn't pull it close, why would he?
Fuck me!
Oh, that's why. Tangerine calls him a bloody wanker, and sets off in search for the case. He runs into the first class girl who tells him she saw it with a man wearing black framed glasses. He texts Lemon so he can help search for the man, but there's got to be loads of people on the train wearing black framed glasses. Like, what do you think, the exact guy you're looking for is going to appear out of the blue? Are you kidding me? Meanwhile, the girl and the father find the body of the wolf, and even they don't know who he is. But they do manage to find the case that Ladybug stashed because he hid it right next to a dead body. Outstanding play. Ladybug tells Lemon that he'll give the suitcase back so long as they let him leave and don't kill him.
Damn good deal.
But Lemon doesn't accept because Ladybug just killed someone. Well, he thinks he's the one who killed the son, but Ladybug thinks he's somehow found the wolf with a hole in his heart. Or two if you count his dead wife. So the two get into a fight with no one in the carriage noticing, except from this lady who tells him to please die quietly. Eventually, Ladybug knocks him out, steals his phone, and fills his water bottle with the sleepy powder from earlier. He heads off down the train, blocking a door with passenger luggage. One of the luggages he uses is an animal crate, which accidentally pops open, revealing a boom slang. A newsfeed tells us that Japan is currently in fear because of this snake, which was stolen from a zoo. Apparently, it has a very, very strong poison that can cause bleeding both internally and from holes in the body. Just like being married to my wife. Anyway, the snake slithers away to do snake things. Ladybug then approaches a passenger, I think his name is Jeff, and pays him $200 to swap clothes. This tricks Tangerine, and combined with some firecrackers, gives Ladybug a distraction to run away. Back with the girl and the father, the grandfather phones him to find out why he left the hospital. I found the man who pushed my son off the roof. Did you go to the police? No. Why not? I can handle this myself.
What the Sigma?
Lemon and Tangerine get told to get off at the next stop with the briefcase and the sun to make sure everything is in order. This is obviously a problem since they don't have the briefcase and the sun is flatlining. Me on the way to tell the single mother of 4 children I'm doubling her rent. God, it's not my fault, she hasn't been tipping me. Lemon uses the dead sun's limbs like a puppet to trick the thugs into thinking everything is going well. Meanwhile, the father has been spending his time trying every combination until the briefcase opens. Once he's done it, the girl rigs it by filling it with explosives, the same thing she did to the father's gun. The logic being that both items will be near the White Death, and by filling them with explosives, you're guaranteed the kill. Meanwhile, Ladybug is hiding in the toilet phoning his handler when they piece together another part of this ever-expanding and confusing puzzle. They realize that also on the train is an assassin called the Hornet, whose signature move is using boomslang venom to kill people and make their eyes bleed. This signature is present on the sun's face, but also was present on the faces of the guests and the wolf's wedding, explaining why he's on the train, or was on the train. Eventually, Tangerine finds him in the toilet by tracking the phone he stole from Lemon.
That's cool.
They have a big fight, Tangerine eventually getting the upper hand, but just as he's about to pierce his eyes with chopsticks, he gets a phone call. He gets told to get off the train with Lemon and the briefcase at the next stop, or everyone dies. A bit extreme. Luckily, the two guys, who are suddenly friends due to the threat of execution, decide to commit some tomfoolery. They realize that the gang members have never actually seen Lemon nor the case, so Tangerine gets off at the next stop with Ladybug posing as Lemon with a decoy briefcase. Damn, great job guys, but it sure would be a shame if your cover was blown by something out of your control, like the briefcase popping open. Oh, damn, that would be so unlucky.
It's unfortunate.
Lemon then bumps into the girl and the father, all the while drinking sleepy powder water. He asks if they've seen a silver case anywhere around, with the girl responding she hasn't seen a silver briefcase anywhere. This tips them enough that they're involved in this shit, proclaiming he's found his diesel. He's not sure which of the two is in charge, so asks one of them to self-report. The father knows that if the girl dies, they'll kill his son, so claims to be the boss, earning him a bullet in the chest. They hide his body in the toilet and Lemon turns to the girl, trying to get answers. At that point, the sleepy powder finally kicks in and he collapses to the ground, giving the girl the opportunity to shoot him. Back with the others, Ladybug thinks they're cool now and tells them where he thinks the briefcase is stashed. But Tangerine still needs a fool guy, threatening to chop him up and hand him over to the White Death. This doesn't sound like a good plan to Ladybug, so he kicks him off the train at the last second. But wait, that train is going back to 2015. Ladybug stumbles across the father's phone that he dropped earlier, telling the grandfather he can pick it up at Kyoto Station. He then retrieves the briefcase from where he stashed it, unaware it's now rigged to explode. He also checks the wolf's body for clues, finding out that he was indeed aboard the train to kill the Hornet assassin. She was the one who killed the son and now wants to kill the Ladybug for letting her snake go. She knows that he's responsible for this because... Anyway, they get into a fight with the Hornet claiming she was promised the money in the case for killing the son. She then drops the needle of boomslang venom onto his hand, which I guess injects him with some. Obviously there are still loads left in the needle, so Ladybug quickly injects it into her arm. This causes her to reach into her jacket to grab something, which Ladybug immediately injects into his neck, hoping it's the antidote. Fortunately for him, it is, and he's able to cure himself of the poison while the Hornet dies a very slow and what looks to be a very painful death. Tangerine stumbles across the trail of blood left from the murder that took place earlier, and opens the toilet door to find Lemon's body. This is so sad, guys. This is sadder than the time Henry the steam train got put in solitary confinement for being scared of the rain. Tangerine then gets a call from the White Death, who knows he's been duped. He's waiting at Kyoto Station and is prepared to kill everyone on the train. After that delightful phone call, he runs into the girl, who claims she just got caught up in all this chaos and wants to leave. But as she's passing Tangerine, he notices a diesel sticker on her back, making him realize that she's actually a piece of shit and has been the villain the entire time. But just as he's about to shoot her, Ladybug stumbles in. He heroically tries to save the little girl who's about to be executed, not knowing she's evil and shit. In the fight, Tangerine's gun is accidentally fired, shooting him straight in the neck, and with his dying breath, he utters these words. You fucking bellend. This is so sad, guys. This is sadder than Kraven the Hunter being delayed until December. Ugh. At the next stop, the grandfather boards the train while Ladybug and the girl try to leave, but oh no, her bag is stuck. Stupid bitch. So he stays on the train that is barreling towards their deaths at Kyoto. The grandfather also comes to sit next to them after recognizing the girl's voice from when he phoned his son earlier. Remember that snake that was set loose in the train an hour ago? Well, the filmmakers did, and it bites Ladybug on the hand. Luckily, he still has the antidote in his system so he doesn't die, instead flushing the bastard down the toilet. While they're alone, the grandfather accuses the girl of being the one to push his grandson off the roof.
You got me.
She explains her grand plan to lure the father onto the train so he can kill the White Death at Kyoto, and how he failed and is now dead in the toilet. She then says that the grandson will also die because she feels like it. I mean, his death was only leverage over the father, so there's no point in killing him, but she orders her man to do it anyway. But the grandfather isn't scared of her empty threat, telling her there's no way he'd leave his grandson unguarded. Now that her plan has been foiled, the girl runs away, claiming she'll kill the White Death herself. Ladybug returns to sit with the grandfather, who wants to tell him his story.
I'm going to tell you a story now.
No, I'm good.
Good story for you, I think.
Really, I'm fine.
Here we go.
Long before time had a name,
Ninjago was created by the first Spinjitzu master.
Turns out he was one of the high-ranking members of the old Japanese guy's crime family before the White Death came in and did the slaughtering. His wife was murdered in the attack, but his son managed to survive. He then went into hiding, trying to find a way to strike the White Death without endangering his son. He now believes that fate has put him on this train so he can finally deal with his Russian nemesis. The two of them go back to the toilet where they find the two men alive? What? Turns out the bullet didn't hit any of the father's vital organs, so he just healed or something, I don't know. And Lemon had a bulletproof vest on. The four of them prepare for what's ahead, with the grandfather trying to control the three of them despite their bickering. The train arrives at the next station with the White Death and his henchmen. He enters the train and comes face to face with the girl, who we find out is actually his daughter. Well, that explains why she's such a fucking psycho. He snatches the rigged gun from her as planned, and she tells him to kill her as expected, but he hits her with a "No, I don't think I will," and wanders off. He leaves the train to see Ladybug with the briefcase of his money, and it's here that we discover the great twist of this entire film. It turns out that Brad Pitt's character never actually existed. He was always just an imaginary alter ego of the White Death himself. Except I'm lying. The real twist is that all the characters were on the train through the orchestration of the White Death. Right, now stay with me here because it's super complicated, but basically, the car accident that killed his wife wasn't a booze cruiser. It was an assassination attempt on him, but he wasn't the one in the car because he was dealing with the fallout of Lemon and Tangerine, who killed some of his men in Bolivia. Now, his wife would have survived the crash if she'd been worked on by the best cardiovascular surgeon, but because of the surgeon's connections to the mafia, they were assassinated 2 days prior by the Hornet. But wait, the Hornet was paid to kill the White Death's son. Yep, that was him. Turns out he hates his son. You see, the only reason the wife was in the car that night was to bail him out of jail. The wolf was just a byproduct of the Hornet's prior jobs, and the father and the grandfather were there because of the girl's plan. But everyone else was hired in some way by the White Death to be on that train, hoping they'd all kill each other and leave him chilling. Except from the Ladybug. What was he doing on the train? Well, if you remember at the start of the film, it's mentioned that this wasn't originally his job. He was just filling in for Toby Carvery, who called in sick. And that's right, Toby Carvery was the operative that assassinated the White Death's wife. Bruh. Holy shit, her web connects them all. So anyway, some of the henchmen open the briefcase and, well, die. There's a big fight scene where all the henchmen are game-ended, eventually leading to a standoff between the two old men. While they fight, Lemon deals with some henchmen in the control room, while Ladybug tries to stop the train. He does manage to find the manual, but throws it out the window. A bit strange. Lemon jumps out of the train to save Ladybug from a bullet, somehow surviving this despite traveling pretty bloody fast. Ladybug eventually figures out how to stop the train by just pulling wires until something happens. This activates the brakes and saves the grandfather from being killed by the White Death. The son then throws a water bottle at him, making him miss the shot and giving the grandfather the upper hand to win the fight. The train then derails, sending everyone flying backwards. The father and the grandfather survive by remaining seated and staying calm, while Ladybug survives by somehow falling all the way through the train, landing on an inflatable costume. Pretty damn lucky. Somehow the White Death also survives despite being brutally stabbed and then going through a massive crash. He runs out of bullets in his main guns and switches to his secondary, because it's faster than reloading, which happens to be the rigged one from his daughter. Wait, what happened to his daughter? Did she get off the train or is she dead or... I don't know, but the White Death uses the gimmick gun and blows his head off. No, I'm not going to show you because it's fucking disgusting. The three of them get up to leave and what the hell? How did she survive? I swear everyone in this family can survive fatal vehicle accidents, besides her mother, it seems. Oh, never mind. Maybe it's just cars they struggle with. Anyway, the truck that hit her was filled with tangerines and was driven by Lemon. How wholesome. Ladybug's handler comes to pick him up and they just leave, no questioning from the police or anything. Their car gets destroyed by a falling light post, so the two of them just walk off. And the movie ends. Great movie. I enjoyed the part where Brad Pitt bought a bottle of water, and my favorite character was easily Kaida Izumi Concession Girl, because she was played by Karen Fukuhara. Wow, she's nothing that I watch. But yeah, if you enjoyed this recap, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. Thank you ever so much for watching.